Hello, everyone. Welcome into Above My Pay Grade. My name is Eric. I wanted to talk a little bit about the euro today, the form of currency for all nations in the European Union. Now, talking from an article that I'll link in the description, euro slides to 20-year low against the dollar as recession fears build. Now, why is this important? Keeping in mind that the dollar is the world reserve currency, and what that means is if Europe wants to buy oil from Russia, what do they buy that oil in? Typically dollars. Now, I guess it's rubles because Russia wants rubles. But if Europe wants to buy oil from Venezuela, for instance, they have to get dollars in order to buy that oil, because the Venezuelan, I think it's the bolivar, and the euro, they can both debase their currency, and they want a neutral form of exchange. In that neutral form, air quotes, neutral form of exchange has been the dollar in years past. That's changing, but that change happens slowly. But what that means, if you're Europe and you need dollars, and the euro is falling in value versus the dollar, you need to print more euros in order to get dollars. You need to print more euros in order to get dollars. And what does that do to your currency? It debases it, which causes inflation. So, reading on here, Eurozone inflation hit a record of 8.6, much like the United States, in June, prompting the European Central Bank to give markets advance notice of its intention to hike rates for the first time in 11 years at its July meeting. So, the Fed, the United States, is hiking rates, which pulls dollars out of the system, which makes dollars harder to get, which makes the dollar even go higher versus other currencies, especially if that central bank is loosening monetary policy like Japan and like Europe. They have been loosening monetary policy, making money easier to get. In Japan, it's the yen, and in Europe, it's the euro. When they have loose monetary policy, that means the euro and the yen are easier to get. Easier to give loans, it's cheaper, etc. But the United States is tightening monetary policy, which means dollars are harder to get. The problem is Europe and Japan need dollars. They need them. So if dollars are harder to get and yen and euros are easier to get, what does that do in relation to their value to the dollar? It goes down. Okay, it doesn't change the fact that they still need dollars. Their value comparative to the dollar goes down. Reading on here, all these factors converge. So it's high gas, loose monetary policy, etc. All these factors converge to hit the euro hard. The currency in the Eurozone has lost 9% of its value against the dollar since the start of the year. So just imagine, I heard a good analogy on a George Gammon video the other day. Imagine that your mortgage, your rate on your mortgage fluctuates every single day. Every single day. How much predictability would you have in your life? Because at the end of the month or at the beginning of the month, you have to pay your mortgage. And you're realizing, oh wait, the bill went up or it went down, and it's very hard to predict. Now, that is exactly what's happening in Europe, and that's exactly what's happening in Japan. They have to buy commodities in dollars, and the value compared to the dollar changes on a daily basis. And so their bill that comes due changes on a daily basis. How hard is it to have economic stability in a country when that is the case? How hard would it be for you to have economic stability in your life if your bills were never fixed and they're constantly fluctuating? If your currency changes compared to the value of the dollar so drastically, like in Europe, has lost 9% of its value, that causes inflation. And speaking of Europe, the Eurozone started after World War II because they wanted to have unity. And one way they're spreading unity, and you tell me if this spreads unity or it would in your life. Imagine you're in a classroom and the teacher says, everyone's going to get the same grade. Sounds a little socialistic-y to me. So everyone's going to get the same grade. So we're going to average out everyone's grade. and you study very hard. You spend hours and hours studying, and your buddy who's a degenerate doesn't study at all. Okay, and you get 100% on the test, and he gets a 50% on the test. Ooh, yuck. So they take 25 points from you and give it to him, so you both get a 75. Now, that is exactly what happens in Europe, believe it or not, with the European Central Bank. Why? Because during, remember, the Eurozone and the European Central Bank covers all of Europe, right? Everyone that's in the European Union. So do you remember way back when this was like a decade ago, Greece was defaulting on their debt? Okay. And Germany is also part of the European Union, right? What happens, and Germany uses the euro, Greece uses the euro. What happens when, like your degenerate friend like Greece defaults on its debt? Europe and the European Central Bank come in and bail them out. So they do that by selling German bonds and buying Greece national debt. Now, how do you think that makes a country like Germany feel? If a country is fiscally responsible and another country in the Eurozone is not fiscally responsible, but they all fall under the euro and we need some kind of unity here. They take money from one country, essentially, and they give it to another. Do you think that promotes unity in Europe? No. So as these chips fall, because Europe has had loose monetary policy and now they have inflation, what do you think is going to happen with these countries that are all part of the Eurozone that are getting the raw end of the deal? Do you think they're going to like that? I don't think so. Do you think their citizens are going to like that? I don't think so. So as this national debt falls apart and there's a currency crisis, I think you're going to see disintegration of Europe. I think you're going to, the European Union at the very least, because this ultimately isn't fair. I know that's not a really adult word, life isn't fair, but if one country's getting the raw end of the deal, I don't think they're going to like that. And it definitely doesn't promote unity. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. And again, I'll link that article below as well. Don't forget to hit the subscribe and the like button. See you guys in the next video. Peace.